Hello and Assalamu alaikum everyone. Hope you all are doing well. I am with you MD Shajadur Ahmed and I am welcoming you all to another tutorial on Python programming. In our previous tutorial, we have discussed about the basics of NumPy. Today, we are going to discuss some other things of NumPy, namely function, slicing and reshaping. So let's start. So these are the concepts that we are actually going to talk about. Okay, let's first start with universal function. So NumPy offers dozens of standalone universal functions that perform various element-wise operations. Like some of those functions are called when you use operators like plus symbol or the multiplication symbol on arrays. The NumPy documentation lists universal functions in 5 categories: math, trigonometry, bit manipulation, comprehension and floating points. So in math or in trigonometry there are a number of functions. So we are going to see some of these examples of those functions. So let us move on to Colab. Okay, so suppose we have declared an NumPy array as name as a num, and then we have put some elements. So if we going to execute this one, it will give us an output like this one. So let's create another array, NumPy array, like num2 equal to np dot array range, and then let's put 1 to 5. And then what we wanted to do, we want to multiply all those values 1 to 5 by 5. So now if we print num2, it will look like this: 5, 10, 15 and 20. So now let's move on to the some of the arithmetic function. So first of all, we are going to add these two array, NumPy array. So we just can do by using the add function. At the add we say num and num2. So if we run this, it will add two elements from the two arrays. You can see that 5 plus 5 equal to 10, 8 plus 10 equal to 18 and so on. So let's test another one. Let's multiply some array. So like mp dot multiply, then we say the name of the array and the value by which we are going to multiply, say 5. So we are actually trying to multiply each of the element from the num1 array by 5. So if we run this one, you can see that 5 multiplied by 5, 25 and so on. Okay, so let's test another one, the square root one. So mp dot sqrt square root, and let's say num2. So if we run this, it will show the square root of the num2 array. So these are the arithmetic function. There are some other function like trigonometric, and let's go back to the slide. So exponent and logarithm function, like we can use expo or the power, we can use the log 10 as well. And in trigonometric function we can use the sine theta, cos theta and tan theta and so many things. So we have shown some of the example of the function, but there are a lot of it. So let's go next. So now we are going to discuss about indexing and slicing. So we have already dealt with slicing when we actually seen how the list works. Now we are actually going to apply slicing in NumPy array. So array element can access by referring to its index number. So we can actually use or call all the values by using the index number. Like when there are a one-dimensional array, then we know that the indexing is starting with 0. So 0, 1, 2. If we call by 2, it will invoke the 4 value. And in two-dimensional array there are indexes situated in 2 dimension. Like if I want to call 6, then it should be 1 1. If I want to call 10, then it should be 2 2, and so on. So we all know that, but it is just for recalling. So let's move on to the next slide. Now slicing step describe the spacing between two values and its operation start and stop. So when we slice, we need to mention the start point and the stop point with the default value of 1 n. Negative values are supported. We can also use in the notation negative value, and when we use negative value, it will reverse the order of the values inside the array. So you can see here, like say we have an array. So let's move on to the collab and see it. So we already have this array. Now if we say that colon and colon, so we are actually mentioning the default one. That means there are the default starting point and default ending point. So it will display the same array. That means there is no slice, whole array will be presented. Okay, let's us now try some customized slicing. Like we say num, and then we mention the start point and the ending point. So we start with 1 and end at before 3. So if we run this, you can see start with 1. So 1 is situated here. This one is our 1 because indexing is starting with 0, and end before 3, and this one is 3. So before 3, that means this one is 2. So we can try other one as well. Like if we want to try and specify in reverse order, so we can do that. So for that, we just need to mention first of all the 2 colon and then -1. So what it does, it will reverse the array elements. So if we run this, you can see now all the elements are in reverse order. And also the negative indexing are allowed here, because we have already seen it from the list and tuples, that negative indexing. Like if we say num then -3, so this one is -1, this one is -2, this one is -3, so it should be 8. So you can see it's in 8. So let's us now try out the 2-dimensional array and apply indexing and slicing in 2-dimensional array. So you can see there is a array, 2-dimensional array like grades, and now let us select a single row specifying only one index in square bracket. So if we want to select a single row, like we want to select the third one, this one, so what we need to do, we just need to say grades, and then inside the square braces we just need to mention the row number. So this one is 0 number row, this one is 1, this one is 2. So if we run this one, you can see this one is giving as a output, because we are actually just trying to show the user the single row. And now if we want to select multiple sequence row by using slicing notification, we can do that too with the 2-dimensional array. So to do that, we just need to do grades, and then inside the square braces we just need to mention the start and ending point. So say we start with 0, the default start point, and end with 2. So this one is our 0, this one is 1, and this one is 2. So end with 2, that means before 2, so it will show us these 2 row actually. So if we give the output, you can see it's showing the first 2 row. And so we can also select multiple non-sequence row. That means if we want to select the first row and the last row, we can also do that. And in order to do that, we just need to say grades, and then first square braces, and then another square braces, and then the first row is 0 row number row, and the last row is 3 number row. And if we run this one, you can see now it is showing the first row 87, 96 and 70, and the last row is 100, 81 and 82. So we can do a lot of things with actually two-dimensional array as well in order to indexing and slicing. Okay, suppose we want to select the elements of first row from the two-dimensional array, so we can also do that. So in order to do that, we just need to say grades, and inside the square braces the colon and then 0. So it will show us the first column values like 87 and 100 and 97 and 100. So if we give this output, you can say it is showing us the first column's element. So we can also do that in slicing order. We can also make it selective, like we want to show the first and the last, so it should be 0 and 2. So suppose in order to do that, just need to write the array name, and then there will be first of all a square braces. We start with the colon, and then because whenever we going to selective, then we have to add another braces, and inside the braces the selective column name number. So we are going to select the first one and the second one. So if we run this one, you can see now it is showing the first column and the last column. So we can do a lot of things using actually slicing and indexing in both one-dimensional and two-dimensional array. So let us go back to slide. So here is an exercise given in terms of indexing and slicing. So after watching the part of indexing and slicing, please try this. So we move on to reshaping now. So the reshape function is used to give a new shape to an array without changing its data. So that means suppose we have an array like we say nm, so where n equal to 2 and m equal to 3. So this array is actually 2 by 3 or 2 multiplied by 3. We can convert it into 3 by 2. That means there will be 3 rows and 2 columns without changing the data. So data will be same, but the shape of the array will be changed. So just a single lines of command is necessary to do that. Then we can also transpose a array, like there are a transpose matrix. So if the matrix shape is x y, then transpose matrix shape will be yx. That means you can see the shape of the first array is 3 by 2. Then if we use the transpose function, then it will become 2 multiplied by 3 and so on. So we can do that by using just a single function called transpose, and inside as a argument we need to put the array that actually we want to transpose. So let us see some of the examples. Okay, suppose we have an array like this. So if we're gonna show the output, so it will look like this one, which is a 2 by 3 array. Now we want to reshape this array, and we can reshape this by declaring the new size. So to do that, np then the reshape function, reshape, and inside the reshape we have to mention which array we want to reshape and in which size we want to reshape. Suppose our size is here 3 and 2. So if we run this one now, you can see it become now 3 by 2 array. So first of all there are 2 row and 3 column, but now there are 3 row and 2 columns. So that's what is actually called reshape. So we can reshape it in other order as well, depending on our requirements. So like x dot reshape, and then we say 1 to 6. That means we want to reshape into a one dimension. This one is actually 2-dimensional array, but we want to make it 1 dimension and put all the value from 1 to 6. So if we run this one, you can see all the values are now in a 1-dimensional array. So 2-dimensional array become 1-dimensional array. So this is actually what called reshape. So now try some transpose thing. So suppose we want to generate a new array, or like a equal to np dot 0 to 6 or from 6, and then want to reshape it to 3 to 2. First of all, we are generating an array. In this way we are actually generating a one-dimensional array, and then we are actually making the one-dimensional array into two-dimensional array. So if we run this one, you can see that the value from 0 to 5 is generated. There are 6 elements, but it is generated as two-dimensional array. So it can be used by the transform things, or we can reshape it as well. But let's try now the transpose thing. So we say np dot transpose, and inside as an argument we put the array name. So if we now run this, before the transpose, the original array was actually 3 by 2, now it becomes 2 by 3. So that's what actually transpose function does. It make the number of array row into number of column, and make the number of column into number of row. So let's go back to the slide. So there is an exercise given on reshaping and transposing. So I hope after watching the reshaping and transposing part, you will try this exercise. So that is all from this tutorial. Hope you guys understand how actually all the arithmetic functions and reshaping and slicing things take place in Python. This is all from me. We will meet in next tutorial. Till then, everyone, stay safe, stay home. Allah Hafiz. Assalamu alaikum.